game this year. Kangaroos in Adelaide, round 8 at Manuka, 7,671 has that dubious honour. Thompson gets it forward, only as far as Norrish. Play-on's the call, Grover to Bell. Dockers must respond and respond quickly. They've got to get excited and believe they can win this game. Simmons towards half forward, has to go again, get his own ball. To Bell, to Medhurst. Suddenly taking it inside 50s, extremely difficult for the Dockers. Black releases Schwartz, he can go for a run. Runs to 65 out, spears it inside the 50. Kick cleared Milne. Spider Everett points and says you should have kicked it to Fraser Garrick at centre half forward.
Yeah, well, that was Schwartz had full momentum, and look, he could have kicked it across the line and landed towards Garrick, who's catching everything at the marking, everything at the moment, and he had Spider Everett there also, so bad option. But Schwartz has been very proactive off that half-back line, running hard and fast into the forward thrusts.
11 marks to Garrick this afternoon, 9 to Rewalt. Infringement in the ruck contest, it's going the way of the Saints. And Fremantle's season is slipping away. Peter Everett, opportunity to kick his third goal. One in the first, one in the third. And this to make it 22 points the difference. Got him in the wrist lock there. Everett kicks the goal. Saints up to a 22-point lead. Peter Everett has 3. And it's a long road back for the Dockers from here, Russell.
Well, it is, but look, there's a hell of a lot of time. It goes about 24, 25 minutes. There's plenty of time if they're good enough to get back in. But as you can see here, Lee Brown definitely has got hold of it. He's got him in the half Nilsson, actually. And yes, inspired it kicks truly. But look, there is plenty of time left. If they're any good, there's plenty of time.
So since half-time, it's 9 goals to 3. St Kilda's way. And Fremantle falling off the pace now, down by 22 points. It's happened quickly. That goes to Hamill, and now a big start to the final quarter. Simmons up very high, comes back to low, shovels it out. The confidence growing amongst the Saints. Jones got it to Hamill, feeds it back. This is Moyle. Off the ball is a free kick to the Saints. Advantage is paid. Moyle, not his best effort. It floats down towards half forward. McManus knocked it away. Bell comes up. Sockers off the ground towards the wing. Farmer backs off. Hamill didn't. Took it nicely. Well, taken down eventually by Bell, but he beat a couple of would-be tacklers. Wolf gets a hand pass to Black, and Black lines up the boundary and finds it. Runner-up best and fairest last season with the Dockers. Hasn't played too much football with the Saints. Dogged by injury this season. Found some good form last week and has carried that on today despite a heavy knock. The Dockers at the moment can't find the footy. Tossed in, low, missed by Cripps, picked up by Simmons, turns around and runs into Peckett, so we'll have a ball up.
It's been a good move by Thomas to throw Stewart low into the ruck and release Spider River up forward, because that causes all sorts of problems down forward for the Freo Dockers.
Just underlines in the AFL, if you don't take your chances when they present, chances are you'll be in trouble later in the game. And the Dockers could have wrapped it up in that first half. Simmons didn't leave the ground. Wolf did as he went to ground. Picked up in there by, I think it was Lawrence. Comes out to Black. Hand passes straight up in the air. Bit happening off the ball between Farmer and Lawrence. And the game came to them. Kick goes inside the 50. The umpire comes across to the dueling parties back up the ground as Everett gives a hand pass to Gehrig. Going towards the pocket, then an untidy hand pass back towards the middle. Bell's got it. Gets it away to McPhee. And McPhee did well. Steps around a man he got in the air and goes short to Pavlich, but the ball is coming back to Bell. Well, I don't know about the wisdom of that.
Umpire played advantage and then revoked it. Carr under the pump, back to Bell. Kick smothered. Fremantle under enormous pressure. Brown comes through. He's knocked off it by Milne. Carr goes again. He's tackled. Grover to Crode, left it behind. He's ridden to the ground by Hudson. St Kilda with sheer determination win it out. Here's Gehrig from 40 metres out. Wonderful team goal by the Saints. They force that through for a goal with sheer will and persistence, working hard defensively. And in the end, the Fremantle players just wilting under the pressure, and Fraser Garrick kicked his third.
Once again, it was just the intensity of the St Kilda boys around the ball. When the bloke had the footy, they just kept working, tackling, first, second, third, fourth efforts, and eventually ends up with Fraser, and he kicks truly.
Well, I guess it's fair to say we've seen it before. The Dockers have this ability to play a good game and a bad game in the same game, and they've done that again today. That was Keystone Dockers across half back there. Whistle, and the free kick is going to Simmons. He's tried his heart out. But look at that scoreline. In the twinkling of an eye, St Kilda have burnt them off, 93 to 65. Simmons needs to be direct. Just need to pump it long. Here's Walker. Generally, Longmuir has been a very good target. Why not go there? Pavlich, wider still. Forward of the wing.
Inside 50, 6-1 this quarter in favour of the Saints.
Not surprisingly, short pass is good, McFarlane. So I was wrong. The Dockers were right. They were patient. And now McFarlane can shoot at goal from about 40 metres out. Huge kick, this one, if they're to have any hope. He's been very good across half-back. As I mentioned earlier, they played some good football since he came into the team. But that defence simply overrun in the last quarter and the beginning of this one.
He's been tremendous, look, McFarlane. Look, it was a great kick also by Pavlich. And Pavlich, I mean, he's got a lot of, he can play centre-half forward, centre-half back. Now he's running on the ball with Thompson. And hopefully he can get them back in the game. Luke must kick this.
McFarlane kicks from inside the 50, then good-looking effort. Wonderful kick. There's a spark for the Dockers.
What they've got to realise is, look, if they're going to be a good side and play in the finals, when you get into a situation like this, you're 4 or 5 goals down, and there's still 15 or 20 minutes to go, there's a hell of a lot of footy to be played. You just keep persevering, do all the things that you know are right, and if things go your way and you keep persisting, anything is possible, because St Kilda are known for huge lapses in concentration, so anything's possible, Dockers.
We saw Melbourne in a similar situation last night against Port Adelaide. Got their noses in front, couldn't quite finish the job. It shows there's still football left to be played. 14 minutes, in fact, plus time on. Bell to Brown. Brown towards half forward. The Dockers need a couple in a hurry to get that spark back. Bell bustled off it. Lowe's over the top of it, dragged off it. Coops taken in a tackle by Begley. Carr couldn't gather. McPhee. Black comes out to McManus. McManus towards Medhurst. Bounce beat him. Baker taken down by Hazelby. We've got the kick outside 50 to Peckett. Corralled now by Walker. Has men in support. It's Rewalt. And Rewalt goes around the outer wing. Bell in front. Hamill to come over the top and spoil it. He takes it to the line for the Saints. So the margin 22 points. Played 13 and a half minutes in the final term. Almost the same amount remaining. Rewalt out of the ruck, dribbles it inside 50. Milne and Parker bounce to the back of the contest. Gehrig to Milne. Just set up a bit high for him. He keeps it alive, only momentarily. And the throw in, 20 metres out from the St Kilda goal.
That's what Parker's wore young Milne like a second skin today, and he's had a very good game.
Milne kicked two. One of them he ran into an open goal. McFarlane over the top, towards the line, but Hamill read it off the pack, keeps it in, squares it up. Seagate stands underneath it. Fremantle takes the mark. They need to get some run and drive off half back. Norrish is the man. Brings it out wide towards Pavlich. Kick clears that contest. He suddenly got 3 to beat. Numbers went out for the Saints. Begley inside 50. Camped underneath it a little bit casually was Lee Brown. Has some time and space to Norrish. To McFarlane, to Grover. This is where the force field's kicked in the last half an hour of football. They haven't been able to get it forward. This next possession all important. Grover to Medhurst. Got hands on it, couldn't take the mark. Still alive. Burns off Schwartz with speed. Squares it up towards the goal square. Carr lurks at the back. Bounce beats he and Black. And he's forced to tuck it to the line for a throw in. 15 metres around from the Fremantle goal.
As Hamill has lifted in that third quarter, They need Crow to lift them, and he's just as important as Hamill. He's got to get his hand on the footy and kick a few goals, because Max Hudson, after the first 15 minutes, has really shut him out of the game.
Hazelby third man up, plucked it out of the ruck, but his handball was picked off. Hudson comes away for the Saints. Around the wing, Hamill went one-handed, brought it to ground. Hudson slides in, great support from Hudson to follow up. And we'll have a bounce just forward of the wing. 22 points the margin, just under 12 minutes remaining.
That hurt. Lee Brown, last man up. It might be Hamill who crashes into the pack here. There you go. Interesting. Meanwhile, after the bounce, Dockers work it forward yet again. Begley backed himself against the bouncing ball. Hutchton came over the top, did well, knocked it towards the boundary line. Out it goes. It'll be tossed in outside the attacking 50 for Fremantle.
A scoreboard like this, Dennis, testing Chris Connolly's policy of rotation no matter what. Midhurst off the ground for Hayden and Simmons for Seagate, so sticking with it.
He will stick with it. There's been some controversy and some discussion in Perth. May have cost them a couple, may have won them a couple. Close to the boundary line. Bell intent to track it across. It'll be tossed in again.
And have a look at this one. Spider Everett coming to the ground. This isn't a rotation. You can see the tape over his right, or just above his right knee. He's a bit sore. That'll be a problem.
Del Santo back on. Margin 22 points off hands. Crow somehow gets through. Kicks from 52 metres out. High ball. Rewalt in from the side. And the crowd love him, and why not? Every time he goes near the football, Saints fans can see their future. Wonderful mark. So athletic. Taking plenty of time. I tried, didn't work. Well, maybe it did over the head of Hudson. Taken away by Cripps. Cripps runs to half back, kicks through the wing towards half forward. McFarlane will chop it off. Former East Fremantle player slips a hand pass away. Norrish back to Hazelby. Another East Fremantle player goes to Norrish inside the centre square. Goes very wide towards the outer side. Longmuir misjudged it completely. Hamill confused him. Now Cripps forward of half back. Looks down towards half forward. Spots a free runner with a kick not so good. Thompson. McManus arrive. Pushing the backs as the umpire. Thompson will get the free.
It's a different Fremantle Dockers side in the second half.
Barely at the back.
Just have not been able to get the ball inside 50 with any great confidence. Peter Everett hurt his leg in that kick for goal earlier in the quarter. Just favoured the right thigh. Flexed a little bit, received some treatment on the field and has now come off. Thumping kick inside 50. Milne flew early. McFarlane with a better judgment takes the mark. There's no run for him at the moment. There's no one forward to the centre for Fremantle. Got to start taking some risks. Their season's on the line. They've got 10 minutes left to win this game. They need 4 goals. Grover. Rewalt goes up. Almost brought down mark number 11. Ball still alive for Fremantle at the back. McManus at the back door to Hazelby to Bell. Bell to Carr. No one inside 50. Longmuir tracks back now to provide an option. Carr's too far out to score. He's 55 metres out. Wheels onto his right boot. Thumps it long towards the square. Here comes Rewalt again.
There was only one person who was ever going to mark that footy, and it was Rewalt.
Lack to Voss. 21 possessions, 11 marks to Nick Rewalt. To Del Santo on the wing. 8th touch for Nick Del Santo. His 13th game of football. So Kilda's number 1 draft pick, as number 3 draft pick rather, in the 2001 draft. Inside 50. Hamill brought it to ground. It was important because Moyle read it off the pack. Dishes off to Hayes. 48 metres out. Little chip kick to Milne. And he is a deadly finisher, Stephen Milne. And as good as Parker's been this afternoon, Milne's lining up for his 3rd goal.
Look, absolutely tremendous played in by Hamill. He knew he wasn't going to be able to take possession of the footy, but he brought it forward of the pack, Hayes onto the footy, and Trawley to Milne. But just getting back to Rewalt, I mean, that mark he took back deep in defence, when he pushed up forward was to try and take the ball, and push back is just unbelievable. His athleticism and his fitness is unbelievable.
Jeez.
He's a deadly finisher, Stephen Milne, as I mentioned. Never fails. And Carr takes the mark. Mind you, he didn't kick it behind, so his stat sheet still looks okay. It's still 2 straight goals. But Parker has it. Defensive 40. Goes short to Pavlich. This is where they've lacked the run in this second half. Set to chip it around sideways. Haven't been able to get the ball forward quickly enough. Hayden over the head of Norwich, but at the back it's all St Kilda. Brett Voss has plenty of time. Looks up, assesses his options, goes towards Milne. Hayden read it off the boot well. Away from Carr. Sockers it through the legs of Baker. McPhee to Walker. To Bell for possession number 31. His 20th handball receive. Smothered. Baker. Hamill 55 out. Goes for home. It clears Parker. And misses to the right-hand side. 2 goals, 1 to Aaron Hamill.
They get themselves into too much trouble too often by just sharing the footy around. I mean, far better to go long and direct. I know it sounds easy sitting up here, but they just feed it around too much too often. More times you touch it, more times you're going to muck it up.
Well, they're very well drilled, but there does come a time in a game where you've got to really go long, and now I'd suggest is that time. 23 points, 40 points, doesn't matter much if you're going to lose. Walker chips in short. Hayden had it knocked away, and that's the danger. Well, Hayden very lucky. Goes against Peckett. He gets this free up from the back pocket, all of which is time-consuming. Pavlich played very well, intent on drawing a man. Now he does. McFarlane, very good as well. Kicks it up towards the wing. Rewalt worked out the contest, but back goes low and takes a very good grab.
Spent much of the match on the bench, Stewie, but in the second half, a couple of important touches.
There is a passing of the baton. Low to Rewalt, but Low very valuable right there. Kicks inside the 50. Hayden leads back in the race. Lays it off. Farmer back to Hayden. Hayden gets a hand pass away. Advantage paid. It was going to be a free kick to Farmer. This is Walker. Little chip short towards the wing and Woods. Feeds it back. Taken by Hayden. Carr. Now it needs a searching kick. That's better out wide. Intended for Brown. Will it get there in time? No, Boss did. Got a fist on it. Brown slips a hand pass away. Taken by Cooks. 55 metres out. Goes short. At centre half forward. Taken by Woods. He's a thumping kick. Turns around. Goes long. And that is very accurate. Doubt it will be enough, but it's a goal.
You mentioned there, Russell, Dennison the call, a searching kick. That's what they needed, something a bit longer and more direct. Still wasn't the most direct avenue to goal, but at least got it forward quickly.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've just got to move it as quickly as they possibly can. Too many handballs to a bloke in possibly a worse position, but it was a great kick. It ended in the goal as a result. But look, they've still got to believe there's 6 or 7 minutes. There's still an opportunity to win this game. They've just got to keep persevering, working as hard as they possibly and be direct.
Beautiful goal to Dion Woods. Just stabbed it through 48 metres, straight through the middle. And the Dockers need 3 goals to pinch it. 5 3/4 minutes remaining. Not beyond the realms of possibility. They need to get a clearance and get it going forward their way. Brown versus Lowe. Black just couldn't quite gather it, but he's got support there. It's Cripps. Cripps takes it inside 50. Hamill will come late. Thompson in front takes the mark. Just haven't been able to win the all-important contest in this second half, Fremantle. St Kilda have got more and more confident as the game's dragged on. And Andrew Thompson coming up for his 22nd possession. The chance to kick his second goal and snuff out the resistance. From 49 metres out. High, long. And straight. To the Thompson. And the Saints hit right back.
Look, I mean, that was a great counter punch again. First, Stuart Lowe, contest in the centre. They got the ball out. And Andrew Thompson, as he always has done right from day one, his ability to keep the eye on the footy has been absolutely tremendous. He's one of the hardest working blokes in the AFL. And Grant Thomas has this rotation system of captains. You could look no further than Andrew Thompson to lead the side next year. I mean, he's an absolutely tremendous player and has been ever since he made his debut as a 22 or 23-year-old 6 or 7 years ago. He's been absolutely fantastic.
So it would seem that the Saints have got their 5th win of the season. And Fremantle, their 10th loss.
There goes the priority pick for the Saints. They don't care this afternoon.
No. Neither you can. Up they go. At the base of the pack, Pavlich. Quick hands. This is Coops running down towards half forward. Out in front of the lead offered by Simmons. He runs onto it. And he's taken this mark about 40 metres out. And given that kick that Pavlich kicked the first goal of the game. You'd expect him to get this one. Similar situation, maybe closer. That came at the other end, of course. He's a raking left foot kick. And the angle opens up nicely for a left footer from here. Margin back to 23 points. 4.5 minutes to go. I think Fremantle will regard this one as one that perhaps got away. He's missed near side. Still, he has reason to be tired. Troy Simmons has been very good. 15-10, 11-12. They came from behind to beat the Saints in round 2. One doubts it can happen today. Schwarz kicks in. Right to the 50. Low. Some valuable minutes. Off his step. Begley runs onto it. Defensive side of right centre wing. Clock continues to run. Begley goes looking for Hamill, who juggles the mark. Hamill still just forward of the wing. Pulls it back for space. Milne outmanoeuvred down there by Hayden. Awkward bounce though. Came to Milne in the grasp. Gets it away to Jones. Jones in two minds. Goes to Thompson. Thompson gets a hand pass across. Moyle to Baker. Baker from 35 metres. And that is it. Game, set and match.
Well, the punter that had 25 grand on the Saints, Russell, that Mark Doran said had more money than sense. Well, he's got more money now.
He has. He's certainly got a fair bit of money. But that was just interesting how Hamill just moved the ball as quickly as they... I know they had a few handballs to actually get the resulting goal, but at least Hamill got the ball quick and fast into their forward line. If you do that, at least you give your side an opportunity of kicking a score.
Stephen Baker gets his second goal for the second week in a row. Useful contribution. St Kilda by 28 points. Disappointing end for Fremantle for what promised so much in the first half. Opportunity to post a rare win in Melbourne goes begging once again. Lowe gets the tap down. Del Santo crashed by Crode. Stands up in the tackle. Will have a bounce.
Well, it's obviously a psychological thing because everything was pointing at Freo winning here this afternoon. They had a couple of things going for it. They had to win to maintain their opportunity of getting into the finals, and they really did have St Kilda by the scruff of the neck. They really did have an opportunity to establish something here this afternoon, and unfortunately they've let it slip through their fingers.
Blood rule, Trent Crode.
Yeah, I think you'd have to say it's one of their most disappointing losses of the season, really, because sometimes you get off to a bad start. I think back to that game at Geelong when they got thrashed earlier in the year. Made the bad start, never recovered, and generally that's happened to them on the road. But this time, got the good start, and obviously didn't come out after half-time. There's a man who knows all about this situation, Damien Drum.
Low the tap into the path of the run of Peckett. High kick, Milne one out. Oh, raked in the one-hander, but gave away the free kick in the process. The ball will come back. There it was, too high on Roger Hayden. Chips to the back pocket and finds McFarlane. Possession number 26 for Luke McFarlane. Runs to defensive 50, tumbles a kick out towards the wing. Stuart Lowe's been magnificent in this last quarter. And there's 50, just to add to the frustration of Sean McManus.
Interesting.
Just up, it'll be 100.
Just looking at the possessions, Fremantle have had 44 more, and I think we said at half-time, Russ, they'd had 45 more. So even after half-time, virtually equal possessions bar one. But it's what you do with it, isn't it?
Well, Dennis, what they do a lot is, like Bell is one of the main people who, not having a go at Peter Bell, but a lot of the possessions are gained up at half-back, and they just feed the ball around, and rather than being direct, they just handball to one another. And unfortunately, if it comes unstuck, then the goal generally results. But they just tend to lend it, handball it around too much up back. And what Sean's got to remember here,
not a lot in it.
He's only giving him directions to the after-match function. Does he need to worry about anything there?
He said all the best for the rest of the season, I think.
Exactly.
Apologies to our deaf viewers. Low. From 48 metres out, high kick, straight kick, goal. Stewart gets his first, rounds out a fantastic last quarter for him. And the frustrations of Sean McManus there. Aaron Hamill found it quite amusing.
Look, it is frustrating for the players when obviously he obviously thought he didn't do the wrong thing here.
The AFL got harsh on that rule about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Russell.
Yeah.
If you weren't in the marking contest, you had no right to grab the player after that point. He did it. It's a technical one, but it is there.
7-goal final term for the Saints. Stewie Lowe now really putting his stamp on this one. 12 goals for the season. He got 4 against Freo back in round 2. Del Santo, Moyle liked his game down towards half forward. He'll direct it that time though when Parker comes across. So inside the last 2 minutes, and it's turned out to be a drubbing. Who would have thought it? 13 goals since half-time for the Saints. Turn this one around. Bell bounces it out of bounds up on the wing. 112 plays 78. Bell has seen a lot of the football. 32 possessions. Hazelby 26, McFarlane 26, Pavlich and Simmons 22 apiece. Moyle 28 for the Saints. Thompson 23. And that'll be a free kick to Bell so he can fatten his stats. Rewald 21. Gehrig played very well, Fraser Gehrig. And Hayes both 20. Bell told he'd played on, which was news to him. Kicks it directly to Peckett, as it turns out. Peckett with a hand pass. Callaghan very left-sided. And aware of that, Bell wouldn't buy the dummy going that way, but he was too tired to do anything about it. The kick comes down towards half-forward. Here's Hamill. Chips to the leading Milne. The crowd were like this. A crowd that was worried at half-time. On very good terms with themselves now. Stephen Milne going at his 3rd goal. He came off the rookie list in round 4 last season. And one of the turning points in his career last year was kicking 3 last quarter goals to beat the Dockers in round 12. He's gone from strength to strength since then. Hangs it out to the right. It's bending back. He's got the goal. 2 in the second half. 3 for the afternoon.
So 3 to Gehrig, 3 to Everett, 3 to Stephen Milne. It's been a fair spread up forward for the Saints, and they've just chipped in different times in the game, haven't they, Russell? No one's dominated all afternoon. Fraser Gehrig probably the most consistent of the lot.
Yeah, no, look, it's been an excellent performance, particularly after half-time. The challenge is really thrown up to them, and they've really responded. But once again, the turnovers from the Freo boys have really hurt them this afternoon.
It's got a little ugly on the scoreboard. Suddenly it's 40 points after the Dockers led by 16 at half-time. And the Saints have 6 multiple goal kickers. And they're lining up at the moment. Voss tried to tap it to Cripps. 20 seconds remaining. Carr. Handball over the top to Pavlich. Swings it wide to Brown. 10 seconds remaining. He accelerates. Kicks inside 50. Time for one last mark. Stuart Lowe and Rewalt. Rewalt now towards the boundary line. Woods taken high in the final contest. Player down. And it's all over. Player down. Freo down. St Kilda 18-10, 118 have defeated the Fremantle Dockers 11-12, 78, and that's Lenny Hayes. Blood dripping from his nose, as you can see there. Just a collision right on the final siren.
Hardly what you need.
And there will be a kick after the siren to Dion Woods. So Woods has kicked one in this quarter. On its way. And misses to the near side for a behind. The final margin reduced to 39 points. And the Saints go back-to-back. Win over Carlton last week. And another convincing win in the end, Russell, over the Fremantle Dockers.